the organizer of this program. And today again we are in your presence. We hand over every direction to you, that thou, Lord, will lead and guide and do everything very well according to your will. And that you direct your son, the governor of Lagos State, to do according to his will. Father, have your way today in the name of Jesus Christ. Take the leadership today in the name of Jesus Christ. Take the enemy, and after all things today, be very careful to give all honor and adoration to your name. And 2015 is going to be a year of peaceful election, and your best shall be on the throne. So shall it be. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure once again to welcome you to yet another 100-day account of stewardship, which marks the 2,800 days of our government. What that means is that we have together tried to find a way of making Lagos progress and be the leader of all other states in Nigeria for 27 times. This is the 28th time. And so we must start by first of all thanking you for being with us throughout this journey to where we are today. We wouldn't have gone this far and become the benchmark for assessing the Nigerian democracy if you have not been with us. We thank you very much for being there, and we want to urge you to continue to be with us, because everything we have been doing and getting right is because you have always offered us your wealth of experience. You have always been with us, sharing with us everything that we want to do. Today, being the 2,800 days, we are here again to give you what we have done in the last 100 days. And very soon, His Excellency will come forward now and read out those giant strides we have made in the last 100 days. But I want to assure you that if we all listen to His Excellency, there are a lot of good things for us to take from that. We assure you that your questions, your suggestions, as usual, will be made use of, so that all of us, as we used to do, will together chart a way Lagos will go in the next 100 days. But let me welcome you by saying, welcome to this program and have a prosperous 2015. Thank you very much. Gov.Babatunde.
Former Deputy Governor, Princess Adebisi Sarah Shoso. Your Royal Majesties, to all of you, through the Chairman of the Council of Obas and Chiefs in Lagos, Yolowo Eko himself, Oba Rilwan Aremu Oshuolade Akiolu the First, my lords, distinguished and eminent Nigerians and Lagosians, and of course, how could I not be happy? Right in front of me, I see the man who I believe is the best man to take over my job, Mr. Akinwumi Amobi. His gubernatorial running mate, that Oluroti Adebule. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you warmly once again to our traditional 100-day briefing on the state of our state and the progress report of our social contract. This is the 28th consecutive time that our administration will give this kind of report, mostly through me directly, and occasionally through the men and women who have worked commissioners, special advisors who have from time to time also come out to your communities to apprise you of what we have been doing. As usual, I will start with our article of faith, which is the budget, because it is the disciplined, committed, and rigorous application of the budget that manifests in the report that we give. In the fourth and final quarter of 2014, our budget performed at 77%. And if you add this to the first, second, and third quarter performances, the cumulative performance that you get for our 2014 budget is 83%. So we close at 83%. This is why I am alarmed when I hear a candidate hiding under an umbrella, seeking to take this job, and displaying so much frightening ignorance when he says that we are budgeting 3% for education in Lagos State. Although when I pointed out his error, his scriptwriters have written a new version for him, saying now that what they meant was that it was with primary education. Ladies and gentlemen, he is still wrong. Primary education is a constitutional responsibility of the local governments, not the state government. And the total expenditure of salaries of teachers, building and repairs of school alone is not 3%. So that candidate doesn't know what he's saying. And you must be very worried about him. Every serious and self-respecting education must see not only the ignorance of that candidate, but his lack of experience and his lack of preparation. Now I will acquaint you with some of the milestones that we have achieved and the services that we have rendered in the last 100 days as a result of the dedicated and hard work that our public servants have rendered. If you want to applaud our public servants, please do so. They work very hard. I'm proud to be the leader of that team. Our budget implementation impacted public power and electricity supply, even though this is not our responsibility. That's a federal responsibility. But we refuse to surrender and fold our hands at the failure of the national government that prides itself on the size of the economy when her citizens live in darkness. We completed the public lighting on 11 kilometers of road network between the Kogi Road, Jibo, and Murtala Mohammed will right up to Igbo, and we lead up that stretch on the 24th of October 2014. This intervention will benefit motorists who drive at night. It will improve security in the area and afford traders an opportunity to trade late into the night and earn more income, as we have seen in other areas like Obalende, like Oshun, Alimosho, Bariga, and Shomolu, where we have intervened with street lighting. The feedback we get from the traders is that they trade longer into the hours, their income has improved, and they are happier with this government. On October 29, 2014, we also commissioned the mainland independent power plant in Kenya. That is the fourth IPP that this government has delivered since 2007. That IPP is dedicated to serve the Ikeja High Court, the Ikeja Magistrate Court, the Ikeja Water Works, the State Police Command, LASU, our teaching hospital, and as we go on, we are expanding and decommissioning generators that are lighting up public areas. So Agege Motor Road, Oshodi, Airport Road, all the generators that we use to light up public lighting there will be decommissioned and put on this IPP. So what you will see is that our budget has impacted healthcare. It has impacted access to justice because the courts now have dedicated power. It has impacted water supply. And it is also impacting security because the State Police Command is now able to run more efficiently, charge their walkie-talkies, and respond to distress. And while I am still on power supply, I am also happy to report to you that the first set of the 150 272 schools and primary health care centers that I promise you will receive dedicated solar power when I address you on the 2,700 day have started coming on stream. We have handed over the solar power system in the primary health care center. We did this on the 6th of January this year, and we have handed over 2 solar power systems for the Model College in Meron in Alimosho. One will serve the school during the day, and the second serves the dormitory and hostel of the students at night. And the one in Kampo Badagry is ready, along with others that are rapidly being completed, and these facilities with regular but minimum maintenance should last at least 25 years in those schools. Gradually, one by God, and by the dedication of our workers and the faith of taxpayers, we will put the shame of darkness that the failed government and the umbrella party has imposed on our children in schools and on patients in hospitals behind us. These solar power systems will shed light on their failure and illuminate our pathway to change. Incidentally, while the umbrella candidate in Lagos does not see any good in our public school system, he calls our children's performance a failure. I am happy to report progress in the education of our children. We continue to inspire our children to improve on their performance. They are not failures like the leader of their party who admitted his own failure. It is clear that the language of failure is spreading in their party, and their candidate in Lagos has caught the bug of failure. Out of 21 PDP states, he could only mention 3 states when they gave him the microphone to speak in Lagos. That is a 14% knowledge of states in his party. Our children have done better than this. They are the party of failed people and failed promises. Our children will succeed because their generation will not fail. It is on this note that I am happy to report progress in education during the last 100 days. Our children participated at the Junior Science and Engineering Technical Competition hosted in Abuja. This was a federal government event, and I am happy to report to you that our children won 3 trophies, 9 gold medals, and 3 bronzes. They came first in the interstate quiz competition. They came first in the national team project. They came first in the free choice project. They came first and third in physics. They came second in biology. They came third and fourth in mathematics. And they came fifth in agricultural science. Ms. Inagu Kelechi from Lagos State Model College, Kampo Badagry, emerged as the best female guest student at the end of the competition. They won 3 trophies, as I said, and I'm very proud of those students who represented our state. I am proud of Inagu Kelechi, I am proud of Obaji Kendra, I am proud of Samside Ibrahim, I am proud of Ugu Ikechu, I'm proud of Amechi Modestos. I'm proud of Onyeka Kasiso. I'm proud of Fatou Efisayo. And I'm proud of Monson Abiola. I must express my gratitude to their teachers who coordinated them and led them during this competition. Mr. Gov.Babatunde, Mr. Henry Nobu, Mr. Emmanuel Ogudari, Mr. Michael Osuberu, Mr. O. Ogusoya, and Mr. O. Lawa. Thank you very much. express gratitude to the coordinators and the facilitators, Mrs. O.O. Obafemi, Mr. A.O. Aberwaka, Mr. Adebayo Ibiyi. I thank you very much. These children will not fail in your hands. Apart from power and education, we were busy in the housing sector. We successfully held the 9th and 10th draws of the Lagos Hope Scheme, where we demonstrated that the well-implemented budget can provide shelter for ordinary people. We also completed the Agora Housing Scheme in partnership with Mrs. First World Self-Consultant, and we will commence our rent-to-own scheme from here. The response of our opponents to our housing program is a bundle of their speciality: lies, deception, and cosmetic responses. They have not built any houses, but their candidates say that they will teach us how to build low-cost housing houses, like Alhaji Jakone. Let me say to him that when he gets to talk to Alhaji Lateef Jakone, who is here, Alhaji Lateef Jakone will tell him that the Naira was a much more stronger currency at the time, and it is not the same currency that their party and their government have devalued today. It is obvious that he does not understand that at over 210 Naira to $1 and at 24% interest rate, the prices of building materials are going to rise. This is not a bold idea as he calls it. It is bold and stark ignorance. They are equally ignorant spokespersons accuse us of selling a house for 124 million. I have news for them. We are not profit-based like them, who spend over 2 trillion naira importing petrol that we can produce. The sum of 124 million naira will build a block of 12 flats, which we offer our citizens on a mortgage of 10 years at 9.5% interest. This is better than the 24% that they put in the market. Their candidate in Lagos says that he has a bold idea to give you value for money. I say we have set up a public procurement system which is already setting an example across the country. I also say that you should ask his party and their government at the center to lead by examples of value for money, by showing the same value for the money in the procurement of 2 trillion naira worth of petroleum products. Let him tell us what value of petroleum products Nigerians receive for this unbudgeted expenditure. Nigerians know where the value is. It is in short pockets and in time. Why we have no housing estate that we can point to, what they are saying in effect is that all Nigerians who need homes, and this is their refinancing policy, should go and take a mortgage at the bank at 24%, and all of us should come back to them so they will share that 63 billion naira to refinance the mortgage loan that we are taking at 24%. This is their half-baked housing policy for Nigeria. But the question that I still ask, assuming that you could refinance, where are the houses? Who is building the houses? We are the ones building, not them. So if this is transformation in the housing sector, may it never come to Lagos. Finally, they say that we are building for the elite. I must first commend negotiations who resisted the attempt to stop the Illuminati housing project. Those who pass through the Third Mainland Bridge every day can now see the housing units rising up, block by block, financed with your taxes. And you will see similar projects in Ibishi, in Ikorodu, in Ajara, in Badagry, in Alausa behind the Secretariat here, in Okoba, in Agege, on the Bagada Highway, in Igbobo, in Ikorodu, in Sogotedo, in Etiosa, in Badia, in Ijora, in Odo, in Osainagoa, and piling works is in progress in Agility in Abueke, while the projects in Mushi, Igondo, and Ilubeju have been completed. If the elite who live in these places, we are proud to provide services for them. We are a government of all our people. We are not a government of election time. That is why we come here every 100 days to come and tell the people what is happening. In the area of healthcare, apart from the primary healthcare, which is one of the interventions we had in the last 100 days, which now includes 4-hour service center because it now has a solar power system, there's a lot of local capacity building that has gone on, especially in the last 100 days. As I told you, LASUT is now fully on IPP, so this was an achievement in the health sector in the last 100 days. But more defining and more recently, we performed the first cochlear implant surgery in Lagos successfully. And to the best of my knowledge, that is the first in Nigeria. What this means is that the patient who was deaf, had lost hearing, can now hear again. It is defining because it was done by Nigerian doctors in Lagos in your teaching hospital. And it opens a new window of opportunities and possibilities to people who cannot hear or who have hearing defects. Because I have directed that the program now be expanded, and with your taxes we can extend it to those who cannot afford it. Our budget impact was also felt in the area of security. We successfully completed the Area C Police Command, which is now dedicated in honor of a very illustrious Lagosian, the first commandant of the Nigerian commandant of the Nigerian Police College, late Alhaji Kafaru Tinubu. And let me say that area command is a federal structure. But we intervened, we rebuilt it from the ashes from where it was born, and we have also completed area commands in Elemoro, in Alimosho, and in Ilashi. And these commands will be shortly handed over. We have also installed computers, servers, data backup, and record-keeping facilities powered by solar in 97 police stations across Lagos. What this means is that the era of detaining vehicles in front of police stations because they are needed as exhibits should gradually leave us. It will help move traffic because all of the vehicles, the police stations now have digital cameras that can store and create files, and they should release vehicles whether accidented or used in crime to the owner once they take all their data on a bond that will produce it in court whenever it is required. So we have handed over the first few in Ogudu. In Area 8, I was there about a week and a half ago. Just yesterday, in Surulere Barracks in Area C, we handed over the digital and storage room there. So let me also be clear that policing, the Nigerian police force, their maintenance, their resourcing, their equipping, is not our responsibility. But when a government and a party chooses to export your money in private jets in the search for security equipment, we must respond to support policemen and women who have shown a great commitment to keeping all of us safe in spite of the neglect by their employer, an employer who denied them a Merry Christmas by not paying their salaries in December. That the allowances that will support the rapid response squad with from your taxes and your contributions would have helped them enough to make that Christmas less bleak for them and their families. Instead of supporting the police, they are busy dismantling the system that we have put in place here, while we are planning how to provide more cars for patrol for each police station. Their latest move now is to redeploy the commander of the RRX. The unit that responds to violent crimes like robberies has been deployed out of Lagos. The commander has been taken away. This was the officer, Commander of Mosul, with whom we built the security trust fund. He helped to support the government and to ensure that we will keep you safe. But as if this was not enough, they have shown absolute contempt for you and for your safety by redeploying also the AIG in that of Zone 2 a few weeks to election. This was the Commissioner of Police who served here and who knows this terrain and who was certainly closer to overlook Zone 2 comprising Lagos and Ogun. He has been posted out. Now that they have done all this, what have they moved to? They are removing banners of the APC candidates on non-electricity posts, using force, replacing them with that of the president, asking you to vote for the president. Will you vote for PDP? In their desperation, they removed the banners of Glo, the telecommunication company, and Huawei, the communication company. These are businesses that pay for adverts. Therefore, they have caused them income losses. They have also caused income losses to the local governments, who have the constitutional responsibility for advertising, which they have carried out through LASA for uniformity. So what they are telling us is simple. The constitution is not as important as a vote for the president or a vote for PDP. They violate businesses, and yet they claim that they want to create jobs. This is the same way that they cancelled the 35350 short code platform that we set up to raise funds for the campaign of our party through the FCC, yet that we claim they not be used. This is the platform that young people use, text messages. They shut it down. The 5,400 transactions that took place in the first 24 hours before they shut it down was mainly by young people. They contributed 100 naira using text messages, and many more now have been denied the use of this platform. And this is their definition of law for young people. It means that the youth have no right to freely choose or to express themselves. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, whenever I thought that I have seen the worst of this party and their government, they just surprise me again. You see, because it requires only common sense to realize that when elections are coming up, it is not unusual for investors to be wary. They want to see how things will turn out. Sometimes they delay their commitments until after the politics has been resolved, to know the result of the election before they invest. Investors behave like that. Yet this umbrella party and its government does not seem to understand the danger to investing, the danger to commerce, and the danger to the economy. When it begins to fly a kite about postponing the election because defeat is imminent and because change is on the way, you know, they don't make sense to me anymore. Are they making sense to you? Yet you want to build the economy. You are sending very, very bad signals to the whole world. If Greece has held this election, the defeated Prime Minister has considered defeat. But let me go back to development. You see, because in spite of election, your government is working and we are delivering service. And we have been busy in the area of youth and sports, and our budget has also impacted that area because work does not stop. Our annual governor's telescope held in spite of the Ebola, because so many people thought we would cancel it, but our health workers said we should go along, and I thank them very much. Because they showed that we will not change our lifestyle because of the virus. We also held the annual Governor's Boxing Championship on December 26th, rather. And that is the 6th consecutive edition since we inaugurated the championship in 2009. Perhaps for those who are not boxing followers, what this has done is that it has helped us to take a lot of kids out the street using their energy and their talent in rural park. And we have integrated them with another boxing club, the Reptile Club in London. So children who were once on the street are now amateur boxers, hoping to turn professional, going to London to box, to dine. So they are now wearing black tie suits, black tie blazers, going to black tie dinners. And they are seeing that there is nothing different between them and the European. That is what your budget has done, exposing these young children, and they have become, for me, great ambassadors of our state. We completed the Gov.Babatunde Raji Fashola station in Agege to increase our waste management, waste sorting, and waste recycling capacity. On December 1, 2014, we also handed over 32 new fire trucks to increase our firefighters' capacity to fight fire and to protect your lives and your property. We formally opened the Gun Resettlement Center to complement the one in Agoa as a place of refuge for people who unfortunately may become displaced by disasters. On December 9, 2014, we unveiled the final version of the state's residence registration card that will be issued to all Lagosians and help us to plan service delivery better. On January 6, 2015, we opened the new Ekpe High Court, dedicated in honor of late Justice Brigadier Ayoni, a former Chief Judge of Lagos. And I am pleased to inform you that the new courthouse for Ikeja and for Badagry have also been completed. This will give a lot of relief to litigants and citizens who need to use the court services, especially in Ekpe and Badagry, who will now not need to travel long distances. These new courthouses also mean new jobs in the formal and informal sectors. Court staff, security men, cleaners and maintenance staff, and so much more that will be needed to keep the court running and to support the system. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot more that happened in terms of projects, but I will not take any more time about them. If you look at the booklet of the program that you have been given, you will see the fuller detail of what we have done in 100 days. But we are more than a government of projects. We are also a government of life-defining policies and legislation. On December 1, 2014, I signed the executive order establishing the sex offenders register and making sex offense reporting a compulsory matter in Lagos State. What does this mean? Before, when a sex offense is conducted, they now say, okay, you know it was your uncle, you know she was your auntie, let's leave it. It will no longer be so. Once you are a sex offender, we must mandatorily report and keep a register. The purpose is aimed at deterring sex offenders, who will now know that we will keep a record of their action and it will become relevant in future as a reference for employment to know which kind of people to employ. And it is hoped that this will protect victims of sexual offences who are mainly, I say mainly, they are mainly women, but sometimes too men are victims. On the same day, I signed the bill establishing the Lagos State Infrastructure Asset Management Agency into law. For many years, we have decried lack of maintenance in our society without apparently taking concrete action to address it. For our party and for our government, the lack of maintenance was not a problem. It was a huge opportunity to create jobs, to take young people out of unemployment and invest them with the power that makes them say every morning, I am going to work. That agency has been working as an office while waiting for the law. During that period, it has undertaken an audit of all government assets, hospitals, schools, court buildings, offices, and other assets owned by government, and it has designed a template for costing of maintenance, all of which is now incorporated into the 2015 budget. This is one of the reasons why you will observe that our budget now has a relatively higher recurrent ratio, now up to 49%, to a capital ratio of 51%. All our maintenance contracts will be classified under this recurrent head. So that's why the recurrent has gone on. But the good thing, Sherry, lẹ́ẹ̀kiri ká kọ́kọ́ sọ ọ̀kan tí ó bá jẹ́ pé gbogbo nǹkan tí ìjọba lè parí nìkan ló máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ní ìjọba ò ní ṣe. Ìjọba máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ nǹkan, ó máa ń lérò láti parí ẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n ó máa ń ṣètò tó wù bá ráyè parí ẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀. A ṣe lébi àmì pé ó máa ṣòro láti máa parí. Na ìdí èyí ẹ̀rù ò bà mí torí ẹni tí ẹgbẹ́ wa fà sílẹ̀ ó wà ń bẹ̀ láti jọ́ta ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yìí. Òun ni accountant general àjọ dúnàdúrà owó ẹ̀mí. Mo rántí pé ìjọta fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí ojú rìn ọkọ̀ ojú rìn àti líla ọ̀nà Badagry lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà. Àwọn olùkọ́ mi sọ pé gómìnà iṣẹ́ tẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ yìí tẹ́rò yìí ibo la máa ti rówó wípé iṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ ní oṣèlè tó rẹ̀ kò sí ìlú kankan tó jẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ láàrin orílẹ̀-èdè tó dáwọ́ lórúkọ ẹ̀rí káàkiri àgbáyé. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ ló máa ń ṣe bó wá ní kọ́kọ́ báyìí wípé Rotimi Oyekan Commissioner for Finance báyìí àti Akin Ambode Accountant General àti Mrs. Williams tó di Head of Service lady Permanent Secretary Finance pé táwọn bá ṣe àti tẹ́yìn bá ti gbà kà lọ ṣe máa jókòó táwọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn mo dẹ̀ pé wọ́n mo láti fi dífà kan tó wà lókè o pé báwo lọ́wọ́ wa ṣe máa tó o wọ́n dẹ̀ ní ọ̀gá tó ṣe owó ní oníbẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n láwọn àwà. So à ń bọ̀ dé mọ ìpínlẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yìí lágbára náà á rí parí ẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin ẹ lọ dìbò torí àwọn tó máa kọ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ti wá wà bẹ́ẹ̀ àti kọ́ àti ìyàwòrán ẹ̀ àti gbẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ ní nǹkan tó kù sí nǹkan tó kù ká máa sanwó iṣẹ́ tàbí nǹkan ṣe nínú ibùdókọ̀ mọ́kànlá lórí kìlómítà mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n wọ́n ti kọ́ ibùdókọ̀ mẹ́rin wọ́n ti parí ẹ̀ wọ́n ti parí ti Mile 2 wọ́n ti parí Talaba wọ́n ti parí torílé wọ́n ti parí ti Kọ̀sẹ̀ wọ́n ti kọ́ kìlómítà mẹ́jọ èyí tó ń mú lọ sí tẹ́bá rí ẹ̀ tẹ́bá pè kó bridge ẹ̀ ti rí pílà tó ń bọ̀ ìyẹn kìlómítà márùn-ún nìyẹn láti Kọ̀sẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n máa parí ìyẹn ọdún ètò jálẹ̀ so ó di kìlómítà mẹ́tàlá tẹ́ ẹ bá rìn lọ sí ọ̀nà Lagos Badagry ẹ rí pé títì yẹn ti kọjá Mile 2 ó ti kọjá Festa Gate ó ti ń fẹ̀ àárín náà fi sílẹ̀ yẹn ibẹ̀ ní tírèdì yẹn máa gbà tó máa fi dé òkùnkùn máa yò so iṣẹ́ ta fẹ́ ṣe ti yé wa ká máa rọra sanwó ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń lọ yìí tẹ́ ẹ bá wọ́n dìbò fún Buhari ó dájú lójú pé ọ̀rọ̀ máa dé bá wa torí ìjọba àpapọ̀ á na àpọ̀lì mẹ́rin láti parí ẹ̀. Ìjọba tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ yìí ọ̀rọ̀ tó nà wá lẹ́yìn à ń ṣe títì wọn 50 bílíọ̀nù lé nìkan ní gbogbo tó jẹ wá náà sọ tó bá gbé yẹn fún alábàkó sínú rẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ ẹ̀ lásán nìkan ní Buhari sọ àpárí iṣẹ́ tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣó yé wa náà so èmi ò ní bẹ̀rù ẹ̀yin kẹ́ ẹ lọ dìbò tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹ fẹ́ kọ́ parí ẹ̀ ẹ tó máa parí ẹ̀ lọ́nà tí kún fún wa yìí o. Yes, Mr. Kuti, what I have said in Yoruba is really the issue that you have raised about the rail project. Traditionally all over the world, municipal rails in the world. Mumbai, I know. Delhi, I know. Washington, I know. Their state governments get federal government support to build intercity transport systems, especially rail, because it's a lot of money. Because once you build it, you have an asset that lasts at least 200-300 years. What you need to change from time and the coaches, the average coach lasts between 40 to 50 years. So it's a lot of money. So national governments always support their state governments. But Lagos and Rivers State are the only states in Nigeria today building intercity rail systems, and there is no federal government support. Incidentally, they are both APC states. What the federal government says is doing with rail is the rail that the colonialists left. They now want to buy diesel engine from China. I saw the engines when I went to China. We are buying electric trains, not diesel. So part of the problem we are having is also how to power the grid, because we want clean fuel. We don't want trains that will pollute. And we have found the answers. Everything is done and ready. The only problem we have had is time. And if you vote for continuity, I am convinced, I am certain, I commit, Ambode will finish that project, because it was not from the beginning when we were planning it. He was part of the team that raised the finance to start. These were the monies that we borrowed. The federal government was publishing that we owe debt. This is where the money went. The World Bank committed to lend us $600 million when they saw that we had started. I went to Washington and I told them to fund this project, and they said no, that they don't do rail in West Africa. I remember I left that office, Gov.Babatunde was with me, and I told them that with or without your support, we will build the rail. And when we started, they saw that we were serious, they called us back. We started with your taxes. The first $5 billion that we put together, there was some taxes that we generated. That's my belief in the ability of the people of Nigeria, of the people of Lagos, that once we are united for one purpose, we will deliver. So, and to say that, you see, governments will set very low targets, very low ambitions, if they start and commit only to things that they can finish in 4 years. A government must dream dreams for his people. He must see tomorrow for his people. And let me give you examples. It was Nelson Mandela who first led, I think, the bid for South Africa's World Cup. He was the one who first voted it. It was President Thabo Mbeki who supervised the bid that succeeded. But that bid meant that South Africa had to raise a lot of its infrastructure. One of the things that they built in order to host the World Cup was the Gauteng Rail from Oliver Tambo Airport right into the city of Johannesburg. It was Thabo Mbeki that started all of it. But who completed it? It was Jacob Zuma. Because by the time the World Cup came, Mbeki was no longer president. So if Mbeki had known that, oh, this World Cup is coming, I won't be here, he won't start. And this is kind of leadership. That's why we already have a 2012 to 2025 plan for Lagos. Even before I leave, we are planning Lagos up to 2025, and that plan is to Ambode. That's the plan that the umbrella candidate is reading upside down. You know, turning figures upside down. But it's not the one speaking, it's the script writers. Now, Mr. Adeosun, will I stand by Ambode? Yes, I will. That's the simple answer to the question. But the more important thing is that all of us must stand by him when we elect him. All of you have stood by me just as all my predecessors have. And that's why from time to time you see Alaji Jacobi at an event, you see Ashoju at an event, you see Lubisi Kano at an event, you will see Papa Molaji Johnson at an event, and all these leaders should. And that is the way it must be. Once we elect a governor, a government, we must stand by that government if they do what we ask them to do. Because we should have stood by the federal government, but they have made promises and they have failed. So this time we want to keep them. Now, as far as Lassa is concerned, I think people must understand, and you will permit me, I'll take a little time to explain this thing. First of all, the Constitution is the supreme law in Nigeria. We all know that. Any law that conflicts with what the Constitution says is unconstitutional and is null and void. That's what the court will say, right? The Constitution says in the fourth schedule that one of the responsibilities over which local governments have control and management is advertising. It doesn't give that responsibility to a ministry. It doesn't give it to the state government. It doesn't give it to the federal government. So it does not matter whether you build the road. You can build the road, you can put all the street signs on it. Any advertising on that street light, on that road, is a responsibility of the local government. The Constitution now says that the State House of Assembly of this state should make laws for enabling the local government to carry out its various functions. One of the laws that we made for the local government to carry out that advertising function was the law creating Lassa. I think people must know that. Why did we do that? Let us assume that you want to advertise on Third Mainland Bridge, starting from, say, Simpson, right through to the toll gate. Let us say you want to advertise there. You will be crossing at least 5 or 6 local governments. You understand that? It means you're going to every local government to go and take the permits. Businessmen don't like that. They like to be served in one place. So we set up Lassa. So if you want to advertise on Third Mainland, go to Lassa. It will collect, because they now have a data of how many posts are in each local government. So they will give you your bill. You will pay Lassa. Lassa will now call the local government at the end of every month and share each person's portion to him. So the truth is that Lassa is owned by the local government. The directors are local government chairmen. And they sit in rotation on the board. So it is not correct, it is not lawful, it is illegal for any level of government, and whether it is a ministry of works or ministry of PDP, to say that anybody should come and collect permit from them. Now what has happened? You will notice that on Third Mainland Bridge, Glo and Huawei, the telecoms, 2 telecoms companies, had paid for advertising rights. And you will notice that until last week, when they deployed the commander of RRS and the AIG out of Lagos, you will only see one advert on the pole. We never used to have 2 adverts on the pole, because they are paid for. Because the president was coming to Lagos, he and his supporters and their people decided to place adverts of his photograph on existing commercial advertisements of companies. And those companies said, no, we are not partisans, we are not involved, give us our money back. We are not doing this again. So he has damaged their business. All the revenues that were due to the local government, those companies are calling for it back. And this is a government and a party that says he was here 2 days ago saying he was meeting with business, he was going to help their business grow. Is that how to grow business? Now what they are doing, even on the state roads, where we build the road, we put up the lampposts, they are removing posters that are on the lampposts that have been paid for, and all what they are putting on is unpaid for by sheer force in building. It's all very nice to sign things, but as I say to people, it is not the agreements that people make that are as important as the honor with which they make them. Some of the best agreements that have been made in contracts have created disputes that lawyers have gone to court to fight over. And some things have been done without any formal documentation. Men and women just shake hands and give their word in honor and say we will do this. So this is important for us to understand. So signing a peace accord is one thing to say something. What is important for me, and that should be important for us, is what do you do? So, for example, we heard from the governor of Bauchi, it was reported, if that report is correct, that those who attacked the president's convoy were not APC members, and that they were members of their own party who were disgruntled about the gubernatorial ticket in their states. Now that is one half of the story because APC was accused of that attack. And nobody should attack the president. And let me be clear on that. He has a right, like everybody, to move freely around, especially at his campaign time. And this is not about violence. The votes is really the choice that we need to make. So I want to be clear on that. But you see, look at what the president's campaign has done. They started campaigning before INEC said it was time. Okay? As if that wasn't bad enough. Some people have come up to say that if the president loses, heavens will fall. Now, it is not the president saying so, but it is being said on his behalf. So, for me, if somebody is true to a peace accord, he must disclaim those kind of statements. He must disclaim those kind of statements. And there's an example that is not too far away. 2008 or 2009, Barack Obama's pastor issued a sermon saying, "God damn America." And Barack Obama, in the heat of election, said, "Look, this pastor married me and my wife. He has been preaching to us. But you know what? I disagree with everything he has said. He is not speaking for me. And you must ignore him. I love my country, I love damn America." That is leadership. So when you are saying that you are like Obama, act like him now. That's my own way. succeed must understand that law and order is the fulcrum for doing anything. So it is a matter of eminent common sense that this will continue. But aside from that, as a government spend, you must invest in security. Because the cost of failure to invest in security is a lot more. You lose more in human life, you lose more in investments. So I am convinced that an APC government in Lagos will continue to make even better investments in security. And an APC government at the federal will certainly lighten the burden. That's clear to me. They will lighten this burden on all the states. But the security trust fund law is also there. So it expands the width. It includes people participation, and it's a law. So a governor can't say he won't comply with the law. I hope that answers Agbede's question about, Modera's question about support for the police. Agbede's question, well, I think that the burden is on anybody now. General Buhari must have left school around 1961 or something like that, or something. I wasn't born then, or I must have been very young. He is the best person who will be able to articulate, and he has got out a certified full copy of his certificate. He has mentioned the people who went to school with him. Some of them have spoken that they were classmates. So what more do you want from this man? If somebody makes a photocopy, I mean, this is a matter of common sense, from a document that is over 50 years old, and you still expect it to be like this. But if they have proof of what, let them go to court. That's why courts are there. But you must begin to connect the little pieces. Hand over is sacrosanct. Shift election. Suddenly now, Buhari doesn't have certificate. But you know what? This man ran 3 elections. An agency of the federal government cleared it 3 times. When handover is now sacrosanct, they now want to be playing games. Handover is sacrosanct. Candidates, and I hope you all help me go and support them. Bossa, it's good to see you again. I'm happy that you are alive and you are well. Ejibo, the work we are doing there, I think you should understand it. There is a major drainage problem there, and we need to really solve that problem before we can now build the road. If we just build the road and we don't solve the problem, then it's going to revert back. And you must understand also that the damage to that road is caused by tankers. Because the federal government has no sustainable and modern plan to cut and distribute petroleum products across Nigeria. Most petroleum producing countries do so by pumping through pipelines. But they can't even secure the pipelines. And so this is what we see. But please bear with us, the problem will soon be solved. Thank you.
Thank Almighty Allah for His mercy and guidance during our various journeys, witness another account of worship by His Excellency Mr. Gov.Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank His Excellency for his leadership and commitment to uplifting the living standards of the people of Lagos. I cannot thank you enough, but let me single out my colleagues in the Lagos Executive Council and the body of permanent secretaries for their continuous support to this program and their willingness to connect with the overall flow of the state. I would like to take this opportunity to express my hearty thanks to the Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State Assembly, Honorable Adeyemi Ifurike in absentia, and the entire members of the Assembly, most especially members of the House Committee on Information and Strategy, for their understanding and support. Sincere appreciation goes to our royal fathers, led by Oba Akilolu, former officials of the state, market women and men, artisans, students, and youth organizations that have always identified with us and been part of this history-making event. Further, let me thank